It's a big day, a pretty damn big day, actually, despite the mostly sideways and boring price action in Bitcoin. And the topic of today is new highs, extremely likely, either late in this year of 2023 or at least before the end of 2024. That is with regards to traditional markets, I should say. How does that bode for Bitcoin? Typically, they kind of play hand in hand, although in this last rally, we haven't necessarily seen exactly that, but at least Bitcoin probably catches a little bit of a drift of that, maybe not necessarily new all-time highs, as we'll go over. Anyways, other than that, I want to welcome you back to the Krown Crypto channel. It's a nice little Monday morning over here. A lot of new opportunities in this market as we'll be going over, and also I do want to let you know that we've actually reverted the indicators on the Krown chain application back to a one-time payment. You know, we got a lot of feedback from the community, basically asking for that, and well, we hear you. So we're going back. I'll have a little bit more details on that at the end of this video. But for right now, I really want to get into the bulk of the content of today. So let's just jump right into it. Starting off with a very long-term monthly chart of SPY. Now, I want to give credit where credit is due for tipping me off to this idea, and then I'll kind of put my own spin on it. But I was actually sent this similar thing. You know, my mentor was kind of turning me on to this, and then I even saw actually Northman Trader post about something very, very similar to this as well. And he's like one of the only guys that actually care to listen to be quite frank with you. Again, not because other people don't have valid things, but just I think that he has a very good perspective. Anyways, so yes, going into the monthly right here, I do want to denote first what all these blue vertical bars mean. Well, they're all positioned on a similar region. They are all exactly 4 years apart, and they're all exactly on the month of August. Why is that relevant, you might be asking? Well, the month of August for this year of 2023 and every 4 years preceding that was before an election year. Okay, why does that fucking matter? Well, as you'll notice, as we'll go through all of these, assuming that, you know, the next 10 days are more or less the same, we can see that all prior Augusts, as I scroll through 2019, 2015, 2011, 2007, 2003, and even 1999, and I wish that we could go back even further than this, were all red months. Okay, well, great, Krown. Let me know more about that. Okay, well, fair enough. As you'll notice for all of these, SPY did print new highs within a year of those times. So we can see this. We can see one example right here, 1999. Again, that did lead into new all-time highs before you know, a crash. I mean, it could still crash after that, but new all-time highs were had first. Then 2003 August, again, similar thing. This one actually was a bit of an up month, but obviously before the next year was had. New highs on the year. Not bad. Okay. So moving on to the next one, 2007. Again, right before the last, the last crash, or the last like major crash, I would say. And what do you know? New highs were had just before the end of the year, a few months later in October. Then again in August 2011, it wasn't the exact low of this Dumbola party, but it was pretty damn close to it. And obviously new all-time highs after that did follow. Then once again, August 2015, less than a year later, new all-time highs. Then again in 2019, just a few months later, new all-time highs yet again, before a very nasty correction here, I should add. But yes, there were new all-time highs. And then what do you know? We're seeing another red month right here in August. Could that follow up with another red September? Yeah, definitely possible. But typically after, August, September, we've seen all of these kind of float up and to the right, which I thought was incredibly interesting. Now let's take this one step further with an indicator that my mentor was humongously, he was actually like major on for traditional markets. It's called the McClellan oscillator. What essentially is it? I think it would be best to just kind of describe it in layman's terms, which is kind of like a summation of the strength of all the major indices. I can give you like the dictionary definition, or I'm sure that they have a dictionary definition over here, but that's the way that I understand it. Let me just double check to see what he actually says about it. Yeah, it's a breadth indicator, basically. Yeah, the net advances, the number of advancing issues less the number of declining issues. Okay, yeah, exactly. That's perfect. Okay, sweet. So going into it, what do you need to know about this? Well, what I've done here is I have marked off with the blue vertical lines the same area as before, the start of the month, and then the green vertical bars correlate with extreme reads to the downside on the McClellan oscillator. And in this case, you can see that but the McClellan oscillator hit an extreme read on the 17th, where it got down to negative 100.75, which is extreme, 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 extreme. Now, I can just show you very, very quickly in the last like year or so, or the last couple of years, all the times that we've seen extreme reads similar to this. And actually, now that I recognize it, there is one more right here, which all led to pretty significant bounces, even within the context of 2022, which, you know, was a pretty heavy downside market, but these did lead into significant bounces. And of course, ever since 2022, like September, it has marked off, you know, major lows before marching upwards and onwards. And what do you know? We're at one of these major levels yet again. But let's take it one step further. Let's go back to all those prior August moves before election years and see what it looked like. And here's 2019. What do you know? Extreme read down here, August the 5th. On the low before marching up to new all-time highs. Okay, interesting. Let's continue on with the party. Same thing over here, August 2015. Again, extreme lows. This one was like very extreme, by the way, negative 109. But again, marked the low before new all-time highs within less than a year. In fact, less than a year. Moving on now, we can go back to 2011. Again, August read, whoops, I did the wrong button right there. Extreme reads right here, negative 147, like extreme, extreme, extreme. Of course, this was, this was 2011 correction, not 2007. But ultimately, this did mark basically the low. Yeah, it was retested over here. That's fine. But within a year, new fucking highs. Like, what's going on here? Let's go back another one. How about that? Let's go to 2007 now. And actually, the indicator does not gather data from all this way back. Now you can see a little bit later, it did mark off this low right here, but that was obviously not the relevant one. Unfortunately, I don't have the data for this, but you can see that, again, you know, a low is marked here. I would imagine that probably was on extreme read in August, and you know, highs followed like after that. It wasn't significantly new highs, but it was new highs. So I thought that was interesting. And then of course, I wish that we could go back to 2003 and 1999. I wish we could go all the way back, you know, even more than that. But you know, is that you know, do we need that right here? I mean, interesting. Maybe you think it's a bunch of bullshit. I don't know. Perhaps we could even go actually and look at SPX and go for like a very, very long-term look on this one. Let's see, I'm getting rid of all of these, and I just want to see if we go back to, let's say, August of 1997, will we see the same thing? Or let's actually just start over here in 1979 August. Yeah, same thing kind of going on right there. I won't go through the full thing. You know, I'll probably prepare that for another video, but I do want to see if that relationship holds true before 1999 as well. But it looks like it might, but I don't want to bore you with the details of me going through it as of right now. Anyways, we can do the same thing on Bitcoin. It's not going to have the exact same interpretation here as we'll go over. I marked off with the green vertical bars all of those you know, prior major regions, August 2011, 2015, and 2019. Obviously, you know, there's only 3 times, so it's not like super super interesting. But you know, did Bitcoin make new highs within a year after that August on basically all downside moves? Well, in this case, that was August 2011, whereas August 2012, somewhere around here. No, it did not. It did not. But it did obviously make new all-time highs soon after that. Did it mark off the low in 2015? Yeah, it did. And were new highs had within a year from there? Again, no, did not have new all-time highs from there, but did lead into this major macro rally. Same thing over here in August 2019. Did it lead to new all-time highs within a year? Close. Again, it was rallying back up towards the prior all-time high like all the other ones were, but it did take a little bit more than a year, just, to be fair. But I guess you could say within the next like full year, so if we look at all of 2020, then yeah, it did. And if we look at the full year of 2015, then yes, once again, no, actually no, that this one did not. This one over here in 2011, very, very close on a closing basis. Yes. So interesting nonetheless. Anyways, what does that again imply for Bitcoin? Weaker in comparison to what we just did see on SPY, but a strong SPY, opens up the doors for, potential major Bitcoin rally. Probably later than whatever SPY does. So I would have to guess 2024, or earliest like very late 2023. Anyways, we can go through a little bit more here into the usual stuff, looking at the HPDR statistical ranges, and again, it's just sideways as fuck. Super uninteresting as of right now. Top side of the range 26,700 versus bottom side of the range 25,300. Basically, I do want to speak once again a little bit towards this, as Bitcoin did essentially play out most of this move to the downside in just one 15-minute dildo, as you can see right here. Let me just pull it up. This again is a 15-minute chart, and then after that, basically just sideways, no real continuation. So to me, that does offer up the potential for a bit of a trap situation, as you do typically want to see continuation relatively fast from these sort of things. But I'd still say, within like another week to 10 days, probably. If we still see sideways within that time frame, then yeah, this is going to start to look like, a bear trap, and Bitcoin probably tries an upside move from here. But before that time, pressure still does remain to the downside. And again, we could very easily see, new lows on this current dump in September, as history has suggested. But again, somewhere between this, August, September region, likely, a low. We can go ahead and check out stochastic momentum. Again, I just want to, reiterate that as long as Bitcoin is below these pivots, pressure is to the downside, and the ball is in the bear's court, as it has been for the past. We started to switch on to this about 2 weeks now, is when probability started to shift back in favor of the bears. So the weekly showing downside below 30,150, 5-day time frame showing downside below 29,420, 2-day time frame is showing downside below 27,150. Is that one closing tonight, by the way? I'm just curious. No, tomorrow night. Daily is going to be showing downside below 25,860, which actually trading a little bit above as of right now. 12-hour time frame showing downside below 26,170, but again, kind of in the critical zone right here, alongside extremes on volatility. 6-hour time frame going to be showing upside pressure actually above 25,850. Again, come off extreme reads right here, so probably corrective in nature for right now. 4-hour time frame going to be showing upside above 26,050. And hourly, I bet is just flippy floppy and not really giving all that much, but technically down right now below 26,180. So I thought that was incredibly interesting overall. I hope that was in some way useful to you, and I think we'll probably end it there. I did want to quickly explain the indicators. So if you were subscribed during like the monthly subscription period, we'd be more than happy to compensate you for whatever your cost was for that, if you decide to purchase the one-time purchase. So let's say you're subscribed for 2 months, and so that's, I think it's like 30 or 4, let's just say it's $40 each, so that's $80. Then you can subtract $80 from the total price if you want to get the one-time purchase, and we'd be happy to do that. I think that's just fair and the right thing to do. So I'll leave things right there. Have more explanations later, and hopefully, yeah, that's a good place. As always, want to wish you the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully tomorrow.